The polar bear is one of the largest land predators and is an icon of the Arctic habitat. Polar bears are enormous. An adult male typically weighs between 350 and 700 kilograms and is around 2.4 to 3 meters long. Females are smaller, typically weighing between 150 and 250 kilogram. Their thick white or light yellow fur helps them camouflage well in snow and ice. Their thick layer of fat under their skin helps them stay warm in the harsh Arctic conditions. Their claws and jaws are strong, designed for effective hunting, especially seals, the bear's main prey. Polar bears are found mainly in the Arctic regions, including Canada, Russia, Alaska, Greenland and Norway. They are well adapted to the cold and icy environment due to their excellent swimming ability. Polar bears can travel long distances to hunt on ice floes and along coastal areas. Polar bears are apex predators, with seals being their main source of food. They hunt seals by stalking breathing holes in the ice where seals often surface for air. Polar bears can also eat other animals, such as fish, birds, and sometimes carcasses. However, their main source of energy comes from the fat in the seals' bodies, which helps them survive the harsh winters when food is scarce. Snooping at seal breathing holes. The most common hunting tactic of polar bears is snooping at breathing holes. Seals need to breathe air, and they often create breathing holes in the ice to surface for air. Polar bears are very intelligent. They will seek out these breathing holes and wait patiently 4 hours, even days, until the seal appears. When the seal surfaces, the polar bear will use its sharp claws and strength to quickly grab the seal and pull it out of the hole. This attack needs to be extremely precise, as the seal is very agile and will quickly escape if the bear misses the opportunity. Another tactic is for polar bears to ambush seals while they are resting on the ice. Seals often come out onto the ice to sunbathe or rest. Polar bears will approach slowly, creeping across the ice, keeping a reasonable distance, and when they are close enough to attack, they will make a sudden, powerful charge to grab their prey. Although polar bears spend most of their time hunting on the ice, they are also excellent swimmers. In some cases, polar bears will dive into the water to attack seals. They can swim long distances and stay submerged for long periods of time, allowing them to suddenly approach seals from underwater. With climate change and the rapid melting of sea ice, polar bears are finding it increasingly difficult to hunt. As sea ice disappears, bears are forced to move more on land, where food is scarcer. They are forced to seek other food sources, including carcasses or seabirds. Polar bears have exceptional hunting skills and abilities that help them survive in harsh environments. Polar bears have a highly developed sense of smell and can smell seals from several kilometers away or under ice up to 1.5 meters thick. This helps them detect prey even when they cannot see it directly. Despite their large size, polar bears can run at speeds of up to 40 kilometers per hour when attacking prey on the ice. They are also very strong, allowing them to pull a heavy seal out of its breathing hole with ease. Patience is an important factor in the polar bear's hunting strategy. They can wait 4 hours, even days, for an opportunity to hunt. However, climate change is having a major impact on the polar bear's habitat, putting the carnivore at risk of extinction within the next 80 years. Scientists point out that the number of polar bears is decreasing in many areas, and that the hunting time of polar bears is decreasing due to the shrinking ice surface area. According to Stephen Amstrup, the study's lead author and chief scientist for Polar Bears International, polar bears are facing the risk of having to fast for longer periods before the freeze returns and they can feed again. This will affect the body weight of these hibernating animals. As their body weight decreases, so does their ability to survive the cold winters when there is no food. The study concluded that with current trends, polar bears are at risk of a 10% decline in numbers over the next 80 years due to changes in the ice surface. There are around 25,000 polar bears left in the wild. There have been many studies that have highlighted the challenges facing the species in a warming climate. However, this is the first study to pinpoint exactly when the mammals were on the brink of extinction. Mr. Peter Moeller, professor at the University of Toronto, said that to come up with the specific forecast, the researchers calculated based on the body weight of this bear species, specifically the amount of fat in their bodies. Normally, in addition to the fur that acts as camouflage and is waterproof, polar bears also have a 10 centimeters thick layer of fat to help keep their bodies warm, even when the temperature drops below -40 degrees Celsius. In places where winter is cold and food is harder to find, polar bears hibernate. Accordingly, their heart rate drops from 70 beats a minute to 8 beats per minute, with their body temperature at a normal level. The study found that male bears in West Hudson Bay are now 20% less than their normal body weight. As a result, the energy stored in their bodies is only enough to sustain them for 125 days, instead of 200. Cubs are more affected when their mothers are not fat enough to produce milk for them. Walt Meyer, senior research scientist at the U.S. National Snow and Ice Data Center (NSIDC), said the period from 2007 to 2019 was the 13 years with the lowest summer ice extent according to satellite records, starting in 1979. Since the mid-1990s, the Arctic has experienced warming levels that are twice the global average. Human burning of fossil fuels is the main cause of high air temperatures, leading to a decline in Arctic sea ice, according to Meyer. Looking ahead, other studies suggest that the Arctic could become ice-free in summer as soon as 2040 or 2050. The question is no longer if, but when, Meyer said. The study found that in a scenario where the climate evolves as it is today and humans fail to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, nearly all polar bears in the Arctic or a few groups on Canada's remote Queen Elizabeth Island would probably struggle to survive by the end of the 21st century. Adult mother bears will generally be hit second, the researchers estimate, followed by adult males and finally single females, some of whom can fast for an astonishing 255 days before their chances of survival plummet. Next, the researchers looked at Arctic sea ice projections under different climate change scenarios to see how long bears could survive without food in the future. Polar bear protection measures. We need to take action. Sustaining the East Arctic marine environment. As an important measure, strengthening greenhouse gas reduction measures is needed to control climate change. In addition, sustainable management of important areas in the East Arctic Sea is key to reducing pressure on the natural habitat of polar bears. Establishing protected areas and safe zones. Creating large-scale protected areas and safe zones to protect areas that are important to the polar bear's reproductive and survival cycles. These areas not only help to preserve the population, but also facilitate their breeding and hunting activities. Create public education and awareness programs. Public education and awareness programs can play a major role in garnering public support and commitment to polar bear conservation. Increasing awareness of the endangered status and importance of conservation will promote cooperation and collaboration to protect the species. International cooperation and environmental policy. International cooperation is key to meeting the challenge of climate change and protecting polar bears. There is a need to establish strong environmental policies and work together to address climate change, creating a sustainable environment for polar bears and other species.